I normally don't like to talk about sensationalist or hype topics, but I've had these conversations at my own businesses, and I thought it'd be useful for other SEOs to see an honest and open opinion on how the impact of coronavirus and a potential recession might affect our business from both an affiliate SEO and a client SEO perspective. So I created a short presentation. Let's take a look. I thought I'd start off with a quick preface and disclaimer. First, talking about my experience with downturns. Now, I entered the workforce in 2001, not as an SEO, but as an engineer. And then in 2007, we experienced the global financial crisis, started with the housing crisis in the United States. So I have experienced what life is like as a working individual in a downturn. On top of that, I have been an affiliate and a client SEO in around 2009. That's when I started. So I did start off in a recession era. So I feel like I do have at least a little bit to contribute from experience. Now I'm currently running both affiliate and client agencies. So my skin is definitely in the game, and these topics of recession and black swan events like coronavirus are definitely on my mind, and I feel like I can contribute. Now, let me just disclaim that I'm not a financial analyst, economist, or statistician, but what I can offer you is an honest, straightforward opinion on where I think things might head for SEOs, and on top of that, with no pitching. Rest assured, I do have SEO services, but this isn't the time or place to pitch services. All I want to do here is just offer some value for some people who might be having questions. So what we can cover, or what we will cover, is we're going to be talking about affiliate SEO, the negatives with the current situation, some of the positives, and what you should do if you're an affiliate. Then we'll jump into client SEO. We're going to talk about the negatives again, get into some positive aspects for clients, and then what you should do if you're running an agency or doing client SEO. So right now we're in a unique situation. We have two issues on our hands. One is the coronavirus itself. And some of the issues that spring up from coronavirus is, number one, obviously it's a major disease, and let's put that aside, the actual health implications and the worldwide economy implications of that. I'm just talking about what's going on for SEOs. Now, the major implication is it's going to divert search traffic. Like, people aren't going to be so interested in searching for interesting and best ping pong tables. They're going to be spending their time on the net looking at coronavirus. Here's Google Trends report of the search volume, or not the search volume, but the search trending for coronavirus. So that's what people are interested in right now, not frivolous things. On top of that, niche specific rises will occur. So depending on your niche, you might see an increase in search traffic. That could be if you're in the survival niche, like that's a trending niche right now. But mostly falls. I was reading some financial reports, not anything to do with SEO, and it seems like on the whole, all niches are impacted in a negative way at the high level, but some are impacted more than others. Like, you can take a look at travel. That was very, very much impacted. When you get into the micro niche level, then you have some winners actually. But on the high level, all markets, financial, anything health related, everything is down because of coronavirus. Second issue we have is we're likely facing a recession. Again, I'm not an economist, but reading a lot of news reports, and signs do point towards a potential recession coming up. I'm hoping for the best, but it could go any other way. What could happen in a recession is you're going to have people with tight wallets that won't have the same level of buyer intent. They won't be as eager to spend money on things. Demand will decrease for various products, and prices may drop. That could be all over the place for any kind of products and services, including your own services. Your price may need to drop. So let's get into some affiliate SEO. I'm going to be straight and frank, and we're going to get into the cons first before we get into the pros. So don't get all worked up that this is the end of days. There's some bright sides to all of this. First, looking at traffic loss. So this is actually screenshots from Clicky from a few of my affiliate websites, and things aren't looking that awesome in terms of traffic. It started February 16th, and they've been slowly decreasing, but we did see a quite larger decrease around March 10th, which is when the major hype, the major poop hit the fan in terms of media hype around coronavirus. On average, my affiliate websites have lost about 10 to 20% traffic loss during the peak hype, depending on what niche it was in, etc. And what I mean by peak hype is, since March 10th, it's been very massively I wouldn't say overly hyped, but the hype has increased for sure. Another negative is a decrease in buyer intent. So visitors that come to your websites are just simply not going to have the same level of buyer intent that they had before. Why is that? Because their thoughts are on their family, health, etc. Their thoughts are not on stuff like ping pong tables, curling irons, protein powder, but they could be on stuff like toilet paper, like we saw in the recent US news. This is very niche specific, so like I mentioned, some niches could get hit and some niches could rise. Let's take a look at some of the niches that are definitely going to get hit. Number one, got to have some feelings for people in the travel and tourism niches. That the last thing is on people's mind is traveling and being in places where there may or may not be more coronavirus than they currently are. And not only that, but on top of that, like governments are restricting travel and stuff like that. So travel niche is expected to suffer. Fitness niche could be as well. People are not going to be going to the gym as often, but I put an asterisk by that because there's some caveats to it. There's different ways to spin your niches into wins and find the keywords that will trend upwards, and I'll be talking about that later. Real estate, it's going to be hard to sell real estate right now because you pretty much have to go visit a home in order to buy a home. No one's going to just shop online from a spreadsheet. And in addition to that, if you're selling homes, you're going to have people coming in your house. You probably don't want that right now. So real estate niche might drop. Non-essential niches, like if you're not health, wealth, and relationships, if it's something that gives pleasure but not one of these three major categories, you can expect some impact for sure. Some other affiliate SEO negatives, or just one, is if you're a website seller, you might find that over time, not immediately, this might take some time to percolate, but website multiples may drop. So you might not be able to flip your website for as much as you did in the past. Why is that? Because stocks are going to get more interesting to investors that are savvy and that want to take advantage of a market downturn. So in the past, if you just take a look at the stock market, just 3 weeks ago, stock market was an all-time high. Now it's the lowest it's been in quite some time. And this is now more interesting to investors who, whereas before, were spending more money on websites because that was a more interesting avenue for investing because stocks were so high. So now the eyes might be back on stocks. Fearful investors are just going to hoard cash as well. So maybe someone might have been in the market for a website, but if they're fearful, if they're reacting in a overreactive and negative conservative way to a recession, then they're going to hoard their cash, which is something I don't recommend. I honestly do believe that in times of downturn, this is an opportunity for people who can take advantage and push forward and see the opportunities. So let's look at some of the affiliate SEO positives. Some high impact niches that could be winners will make money online. A lot of people aren't going to be going to offices. There could be some layoffs. A lot of people are going to be home, so they're interested in subjects like make money online. Survival and prepping niches, like I got a lot of friends in the survival and prepping niches, and they're reporting awesome traffic increases, buyer intents through the roof. Digital streaming, a lot of people are going to be home watching Netflix, watching Hulu, watching whatever it might be. So being in affiliate programs that push products like that. Learning niche, like anything where you're learning at home, courses, stuff like that will do really well. Meal delivery, so people are not going out to eat in restaurants. So there's a lot of great private affiliate programs. I've been in one called Factor 75. That's a pretty good meal delivery program. Tons of other ones that, depending on what kind of diet you're in, they niche down very, very well. Home gardening, so people don't want to go to the grocery store, so gardening might be something that they take up and want to grow their food from home so they can avoid germs at the grocery store. Home fitness equipment, so no gym for me, let's figure out how to get my sweat on at home kind of thing. Now, some other positives is, at least for who I believe is probably watching this video, is that we are already, on the most part, working from home. Unless you're client SEO and working at an agency, you're probably working from home. Maybe you have an office, but for the most part, you're working from home. Solo affiliates in small media groups, so like LeadSpring, my company, I consider it a small boutique sized media group. We're already working from home, so we won't need to pivot. We won't need to change our processes. We won't need to get out of the office and make new meeting schedules and make new processes that require us to be in person and move that to a non-in-person requirement. That's going to be fine. We're already set up for this. So competition from some of the big players, remember, everyone's complaining all the time that I'm up against the Wirecutter, I'm up against Healthline. Remember, these are big media groups that are likely in an office, they're likely in major metropolitan areas, and they're going to have to pivot. They're going to have to figure out how to do it from home like we've been able to streamline to. So they're going to lag behind. So they're going to need to learn how to transition from work to home. They're going to need to rebuild systems. So this is an opportunity for folks like you and I to stay doing what we're doing, stay streamlined, and pull ahead, because they're going to have a huge lag in the game. Another positive is cheaper resources, and I use ellipses ... eventually. After time, it's going to take a while for the downturn, if the downturn comes, to take effect, and then demand to decrease and prices will need to decrease as such. But content should eventually get cheaper. There's going to be more writers on the market because more people are working from home. Again, that make money online niche. So more supply, and that's going to drive down the price. And links should get cheaper as well, because demand will decrease because of tight wallets. And because of that, prices could drop. And we're hoping for that. In fact, we've already started reaching out, negotiating, and trying to get better deals than we did before, seeing if there's any bite already. Some other positives for affiliate SEOs is that, same as I said as a negative, but multiples might drop, and that's good for buyers. That can mean great deals on marketplaces and privately. So affiliates, here's a quick summary slide of what I think you should do in this time period, and this is what I'm doing. Number one, keep moving forward. Don't scale back. I mean, this is all budget permitting. Look at your numbers and make sure that you're still able to maintain a profit, but keep moving forward and don't scale back. This is your time to pull ahead. Remember, our competition is tied up with trying to pivot into a work from home, and a lot of times they're doing paid time off. People aren't going to work from home. So this is the time to pull ahead. And then also, just a quick reminder, resources should get cheaper. You can also write for at-home keywords. Remember, a lot of niches will have some kind of at-home version of them. So again, I wrote the fitness niche might be a niche that got impacted, but think about all the keywords that might be how to do a chest workout at home, how to do cardio at home. So these are all keywords that are going to trend up very, very high, and they should be targeted when you're doing your keyword research and content. After that, it's a smart idea to diversify income with info products. So if you have any kind of site, especially authority sites, if you have an email list that you've been building up, or that's something you've had on your mind for quite some time, you can also develop an info product. Remember, there's tons of people that are going to be at home looking to find things to educate themselves with online. So that's a great idea to have for your website to diversify income. There's never been a better time than now to make an info product. And then consider buying a new web property later. Again, I don't think that multiples will decrease in price right away, but it's coming eventually. And then you might be able to find some great deals on marketplaces if you're interested in buying a web property, buying an affiliate business. Let's move on to the client side of SEO. So some negatives here. Client conversion will suffer. And when you're making deals and you're talking to potential clients, I can expect our conversion rate to suffer. Why is that? Because people are going to be hesitant to big financial commitments, especially when they don't know how much cash flow they'll have coming in. Now, your clients might cancel because of various reasons, like supply chains might be compromised. They're not be able to get their e-commerce product from China, for example. They might be in an impacted sector like travel. So it's quite possible that some of your clients might cancel just because their businesses aren't doing well themselves. And don't be upset about that. You need to sympathize at a time like this. Some positives for client SEO. Ads and marketing costs will decrease. So my recommendation is don't slow down on advertising and marketing. You're going to be getting deals there. If you're running Facebook ads, they're going to start getting cheaper. There won't be as many people competing on Facebook ads and driving up the price. Second, just like for affiliates, your resource costs should decrease. And I'm talking about your content and links here. Next, one good thing about this is you're going to have more businesses coming online. A lot of brick and mortar businesses, a lot of physical businesses that had real locations, they're going to be moving into the online space because people still need to make money, and they're going to be looking for alternatives that are safe for both their own customers and their own staff. So maybe migrating to online businesses. That means more websites on the internet and more clients for you. After that, new sectors will develop that we have no idea what they are even now. If this becomes a long-lasting change and people need to socially distance for a long time, then new sectors could develop completely that didn't exist before. So client SEOs, what should you do and what are we doing? Number one, send your office staff home. It's just a smart thing to do. You're working online, you're in a digital workplace environment. There's no real reason to have an office in the first place, except, it's a little bit streamlined meetings and stuff like that, but you can work from home, and this is a great time to take advantage of that. And also, it's time to over deliver for your clients. Think about it like this. All businesses need lead flow. Like, for example, your own client SEO business needs lead flow. That's the same for your clients as well, whether they be plumbers, whether they be e-commerce shop or anything like that. They need lead flow, and you got to remember that you're your client's lead flow. You're the source of that, or at least you're one source of that. They might have, their foot traffic has gone to zero, but their paid traffic might still exist, but you're still a major source of their lead flow. Certain services definitely will be on the shopping block for your clients. They're going to be looking to thin their outgoing expenses. Just don't give them a reason to choose you. So now's the time to over deliver. Get creative on how you can really do a good job for all your clients. After that, position yourself to serve that emerging client base. So the new people that are coming online, the new niches that might emerge, position yourself to be the expert for these people. So some highlights and summary. Don't pull back if you can afford to. What I mean by that is run your numbers and keeping a close eye on your cash flow and your profit and loss, and make sure you're profitable. After that, if you can ensure that you are still profitable, note that everything is going to be on sale. So if you're operating with gusto in the downturn, you will get a lot of discounts. Those that double down are going to pull ahead of the competition. Remember, a lot of people are going to be pulling back. They need to scale back. They're going to be moving into the online space. They're going to be clunky. Those that are doubling down, you're going to pull ahead of the competition when it comes to rankings for sure. See how you can pivot into emerging needs, especially for those client SEOs. Remember to over deliver. And then also, just it's a good thing to do, stay positive. A lot of people are getting too wrapped up in the negative that's going on. And I get it. There's a lot of negative going on. There's a lot of bad vibes, so to speak. So try to stay positive. It's just a better way to operate. And also on top of that, one reason to stay positive is just be grateful. We're in one of those rare businesses that you can work online, you can work from home, and you can pretty much choose who you work with. We're blessed in that regard. So keep your head up and keep plowing forward.